Hi guys, this is the second part of the revision video lecture. Um, this is going to be a short one because I only need to get through a couple more slides. And then remember that this PowerPoint that is being used covers all three of the video lectures for the week. So later in the week, I'm going to have you pull this up again for the objective correlative and subtlety in writing video lecture. Okay, so this one focuses on the second part of revision, but mostly it's gonna focus on editing and line editing, and then proofreading. So revision. The last video talked mostly about revising for conceptual things like for character development, story and plot, theme, those type of things, those elements. Editing and line editing is kind of the next step down. Think of revision as you start looking at something from a wide angle and you kind of zoom in on it. So you begin with the bigger picture elements during revision, and then editing and line editing kind of focuses in a little bit more. So editing is, you focus on the clarity of your language, you focus on the precision, the flow, maybe, that your language is the same throughout, that, your paragraph structure makes sense, even that you have good sentence structure, good variation, we'll put it that way. That everything is cohesive and concise, that your main arguments or research points flow into each other, that your logical progression of ideas makes sense, all of those things. So it's a little bit more focused in than revision, but it's still not going through it line by line, which is what line editing is. Line editing is very fine-tuned. This is making sure that everything is as perfect as it can be. This is going through it word by word, sentence by sentence, looking at those kind of issues. This is when you make sure everything is correct. This is when you make sure spelling and grammar and word choice and punctuation, rhythm, voice, style, language. This is when you make sure that you're cutting repetitions, cutting wordiness, cutting any word or phrase that's not necessary. Making sure that you aren't repeating yourself, all of those things. So line editing, and this is when you should be reading aloud. So whenever you read your piece aloud, that's going to help you hear awkwardness. Maybe it's going to help you wordiness, awkward phrasing, repetition. All these things are going to sound strange to your ear when you read it aloud. So that's why reading aloud is a very good thing to do. So oh no, my dogs are freaking out. Sorry. Editing and line editing is, these are not conceptual, these don't focus on the big picture. This is kind of the middle step in that top-down theory, that inverted cone thing. This is looking for style, it's looking for style, language, and word choice. You're cutting, like in the Stephen King theory, or Hemingway's iceberg theory. And this is when this is also when you're going to be looking at subtlety in writing, objective correlatives, and manipulating white space, which the next video lecture will cover. Okay, so what is the difference between editing, line editing, and proofreading? Proofreading, this is kind of the very last run through. You've all done this a million times. This is just one last read through. Looking for typos, spelling mistakes, punctuation errors, misplaced words, any of those last-minute things. Nothing you ever hand in ever should have any of these things in it. There should never be a typo or spelling mistake or grammar punctuation errors. And that's what proofreading is for. This is catching those last-minute things. It's the final run-through. It's the very last step. Shoot, I didn't take this out. In English 100, I put up an example of editing, line editing, revision, all those things look like, based on a short story that we read. We didn't read that short story here, so I don't have that, so just ignore this last thing. And And then here's a little English teacher joke. And that's it for revision